if I were to give you 11 grand today? What do you think about that?
Yeah, because it's been on your lot for 273 days.
Yeah.
All right, Dad, let's hop straight into today's video. We are going to be talking about our dear friends at Hertz.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know they were our dear friends, but I'm so glad to know it. I'll see if I can get the friends and family discount next time I rent a car.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, yeah, Dad, can you give us a bit of an update on the Hertz bankruptcy saga? Like, are they liquidating their fleet? Because I thought I read somewhere that they just raised, was it $400 million so they could buy more cars?
Yes. They recently raised $400 million because, well, God knows when you're bankrupt, who wouldn't want to give you $400 million bucks?
We are open to phone calls, by the way, if you want to give us $400 million bucks.
Absolutely. So they just raised $400 million. So the company that they deal with that leases the cars for them can procure new vehicles for their rental fleet. And the rationale for it is that when they come out of bankruptcy, they want to be able to provide brand new rental cars for their returning customers to trash, as opposed to having them continue trashing the existing older cars. So they think they can win back all these customers if they have brand new cars for them to drive.
Okay, so you just said that customers trash rental cars. So we've done so many videos talking about buying rental cars.
Yes.
You've got strong opinions about it, but as long as you get a personal, a pre-purchase inspection done by a personal mechanic, then you should be okay, right?
Sure, whatever you say.
All right, you're definitely not. You're not walking around saying, "Hey, go buy rental cars."
Some people swear by them, others don't. I fall into the category of if it's a newer, lower mileage car that they recently had to liquidate because of their bankruptcy situation, then it might be something to look at. If it's one of their older, higher mileage vehicles and it's not on their lot because they only keep the cream of the crop, and, well, there's not much cream in their crop. The other ones that are making it at the other dealers are just typically not worthy of the dollars that people are asking for them, in my opinion.
Definitely. And I think this news about the $400 million that they raised kind of speaks volumes to the fact that we anticipated a ton of defleeting. And of course, there is still defleeting going on, yes. But it wasn't this, oh crap, Hertz is bankrupt. Tomorrow there's going to be a flood of 500,000 cars on the market. That didn't happen. That isn't happening. And it's kind of crazy, like my dad said, that a bankrupt company can raise $400 million to refleet. So there you go. Capitalism in America.
At its finest.
At its finest. And if you haven't watched our video about BMW fraudulently reporting car sales, thanks to the Securities and Exchange Commission catching them, capitalism again at its finest.
At its finest.
Somewhere on the screen.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So let's actually transition, Dad, to looking at some Hertz vehicles that are for sale and getting a sense for if their pricing is fair right about now, or how we feel about that. How does that sound?
That sounds like, well, I didn't know we were going to do it, but that's okay. I can roll with the punches.
Okay, so Dad, you can see the Hertz car sales screen on your end, right?
I can see Hertz inventory.
Perfect. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking we'll do. And I ran one example. Maybe we can go through two of them or so. I clicked on the first one that came up, the 2017 Kia Forte sedan. So this one has, what did it say?
98,000 miles? 98,000 miles? Wow.
Yeah, it's like 96,000 too many for you to be interested. But we have the no haggle price at $8,491, right?
Probably sounds about 8,000 too high.
So back in the Auto Advocate dashboard, Dad, I actually ran the report. You can see I ran it 4 hours ago. And so here's what I'm thinking we'll do is, it's funny, I'm talking to you, but your recommendation is right here. You say, wait until something better comes along. My gut tells me that this dealership has no interest in making a deal anytime soon, maybe towards the end of the month, but not right now. And we know, obviously, because it's Hertz, they're not like a typical dealership, but you can see it's got a pretty bad negotiability score. Can you help us understand that why and like what that means?
Can I make a suggestion that that not only should we offer people a negotiability score, but we should also include a desirability score, because I don't know what would be desirable about a Kia that's a rental car that's got almost 100,000 miles on it.
Dad,
I mean,
beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay, yeah, and abuse has been behind the wheel for nearly 100,000 miles on that car, but we don't have a desirability score. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about Hertz, which is a no hassle, no haggle, one price buying system that they employ, or selling system that they employ. So that would give you the impression that, well, their asking price is the price. And so that they don't negotiate, or there's very little likelihood, unless, of course, you could go in there and you could prove to them or suggest to them that their asking price is not within market parameters, and perhaps they would adjust it. But I'm thinking, just looking at a vehicle that has nearly 100,000 miles on it, oh my God, you can't. You're asking so much for that car in comparison to cars that would have, I don't know, like half the miles, that it doesn't seem reasonable.
Yeah, and so it is interesting. There's 41 similar vehicles within a 50-mile radius. Yeah, 41 that this comes back for the same year, make, model, trim. And this vehicle's been on Hertz's lot for 38 days.
Yes.
The average time for one of these Kia Fortes, a 2017 Kia Forte, in this trim level is 110 days. So you can start to understand why they have it priced where they are, right? I mean, they were thinking to themselves, because they know this in the back. I mean, they know that it takes 110 days to move one of these cars in this area. So why not price it a little too high right now and just kind of knock it down? You've talked about that, right? Like, that's a strategy. Just knock the price down every 30, 60 days.
The closer you get to your aging policy for your cars, and if Hertz understands that a vehicle like this normally takes about 110 days to sell, then they've probably said to themselves, we need to turn this car within 120 days. So they're probably giving themselves 4 months to sell the car. They're 1 month into their 4-month program. So as they get closer to the end of that time, then you'll start seeing them lowering the price of the vehicle to encourage somebody to come in and buy it.
And you can already see it was earlier, about a month ago now, that they had the initial listing price at $8,991. This vehicle was listed for sale, years ago as well, evidently, back in 2018 for whatever reason. But I mean, the most recent listing, about $9,000. Now it's listed at $8,491, $8,500. So they're doing that. And then what I did was I actually saw, when I scrolled down, like, there are much more likely to negotiable vehicles here. And so I ran another one to kind of put it into context. So here's this other one, another, LX sedan. Let's view this report. So this one also had a time when it was, being sold as a previous used car way back when. But it's been, on this dealer's lot for a long time now. And we can see that the price has come down considerably, about $500 just since July. So they are doing that aging policy. But you can see immediately, like, what's your recommendation? Let's see. Go give it your best shot. My gut tells me the dealership should want to make a deal on this vehicle, but you might be better off waiting until the end of the month. I think that's good advice, and
I think that's good advice, and I would also suggest that the dealer might not want to wait till the end of the month because, well, they've already had it for 311 days. They've already had it for 3 times the amount of time that it typically takes to sell one of these. So they know the position they're in. They know that at the moment, they're probably asking too much. They've held on to the car way too long. They understand that there's going to be a loss involved, and they would be better off just turning this car into cash so they can go replace it with something that they might be able to sell quicker and actually make more of a profit on. So, yeah, I would think...
it's got less miles, Dad. Like that, I just clicked on the VDP.
Only 40,000 less miles, for goodness sake. So perhaps this one, you can make an offer that would be less than what they're asking, and you'd be talking about a car that's got 40,000 less miles, 40,000 less wear and tear.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Let's run through one more back on the Hertz website, see if we can find a comparable. And we're doing this live, and we want your feedback. So give us feedback in the comments down below. What we're walking through right now will be accessible, depending on when you're watching this, towards the end of October, beginning of November. So please, like, if you see things or even data as we're going through it, like, you got suggestions for how we can improve it, let me know.
Well, the desirability score was my suggestion so far.
All right, let's look at a different car. Why don't we you want to do a Ford Fiesta SE sedan?
Oh, I love Ford Fiesta SE sedans. Sure.
Okay, so we need the VIN. So I'm going to copy the VIN. This one only has 25,000 miles on it, Dad.
And what year is it?
This is a 2019.
Okay, yeah. So this is one of the cars that they decided they probably needed to defleet because of the situation there, and because typically they don't get rid of their cars till they have 40-some thousand miles on them. So this is one of the ones where it was driven less, still driven quite a bit for a 2019, but considerably less than what it normally would be from Hertz.
So let's break down the market price report. So we can see it was originally listed for sale at $13,400. That is a bold move, Hertz. Kudos to you. And that was only 3 weeks ago from when we were filming this. Now the price is listed at $11,291. We have a really low negotiability score, so I'm going to go out on a limb. I haven't scrolled down yet, but this vehicle's only been on the lot for 27 days. Yeah, the average time on lot is 69 days. So this dealer just doesn't have, and it's Hertz again, so we know,
yes,
they don't have too much incentive to move the inventory. However, I'm interested, let's scroll down here and we'll sort this by negotiability. So there is one that's an 85. Do you have any comments on this one for Hertz, or should we look at the one that has the high negotiability score?
Well, I mean, obviously Hertz is they're only 27 days in, so they're gonna wait a little bit. They're gonna stick to their guns for a little bit, and they know, as every other dealer knows at the moment, that there's a shortage of pre-owned cars. The low supply has been equaling higher asking prices, and people have been willing to pay the higher asking prices, so they're willing to take a shot and wait. But we also know that prices are or will be starting to at least trickle down to a certain degree because wholesale values are starting to back off a little bit. So, they're playing a little bit of a waiting game here, but they figure they still have some time. It's only 27 days in.
Exactly. And if you haven't watched our most recent market update, take a peek. We're talking about that. Also, I just noticed, this is still definitely, we're still building this out. It's in beta right now, so you can see the color of this one is color. So
it's color.
We have some work to do.
I like that. Yeah. What color would you like it to be? Any color?
All right, so I'm going to run the report for the one that has the 85 negotiability score. Wow. Okay, let's try and break this down.
Wow. So you can see they've had it for a long time. You can see. I'm guessing the real low point was during the beginning of the pandemic. I'm just guessing.
So they have a low point from April of last year, which is interesting. Then they had it sitting, I don't know, this is crazy. Then they jacked the price way up when used car prices. This is interesting. June of 2019, they had it listed for sale somewhere online for $12,889. And then they listed it again in August when used car prices were through the roof for $16,000. That to me just kind of waves the flag of, do we have any used car inventory? Like in the manager's meeting, where'd that 2019 Ford Fiesta come from? Put it on the lot, jack the price up.
Well, if it were me, I would print out this report. I would take it to this dealer, and I would say, you see that low point when in April of 2019, when you thought, okay, the car's worth $11,000. What if I were to give you $11,000 today? What do you think about that?
Yeah, because it's been on your lot for 273 days.
Yeah,
and
at one point they thought it was an $11,000 car.
That's interesting, and it puts back into perspective like what we're looking at Hertz. Is this Hertz deal a deal? Like, no, probably not. You're paying a bit of a premium to not have to haggle and negotiate. But there are some other options out there if you do want to haggle and negotiate that you've got a better chance to because the vehicles has a higher negotiability score. It kind of puts in perspective. So I know it's a long video and we've talked a lot, but like Hertz is refleeting. They are not defleeting as much as we thought they would. The 400 million is still mind-boggling. And then when you start to use the market price report to analyze the Hertz inventory, you can actually find some alternatives where you can probably negotiate a better deal. And to my dad's point, you can use the price history to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Whether you print it out with my dad's face on it or not is up to you. I definitely am team just like grab your iPhone and have it on your mobile phone. But I appreciate if you want to print and that's your thing, Dad. I get it.
Well, I'm old school. You know me. I like the waste paper.
All right, Pops. Well, if there are people that are watching this and you want to see more content like this, where we're looking at negotiability scores, analyzing vehicles, trying to find the right deals and stuff like that, let us know in the comments below. The market price report is getting closer and closer to coming live, so we'd love to be able to help as much as we can with that. And I think I'm good on my end, Dad. Are you?
Oh, gosh, yes. I've looked at way too many Kia Fortes and Ford Fiestas. Or whatever the hell kind of Ford
it was something.
Yeah, it was a Ford.
It was a Ford. All right, Pops, I love you.
I love you too. Thanks, handsome.